Wood, you ain't ish. Yeah, I said it. I sure did. And I'll say it one more time. Wood, you ain't ish. Because why you sit up there, you ain't get your baby mama, your wife, you didn't get her nothing for Mother's Day. After 9 kids? 9 kids? 9? You didn't get her nothing for Mother's Day. And here's my thing. Peach out here celebrating it like it's a flex. No, baby, that is not a flex. I don't think she realizes at what extent she is hurting herself in the long run. I believe Peach is going to wake up one day and realize all of the mistakes and all the things. Peach has allowed herself to go through so much. She puts herself through so much. And I feel like if it wasn't for the internet, if it wasn't for this app, if it wasn't for YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, I feel like she wouldn't be with Wood. And I also feel like if they didn't have these 9 kids, that she wouldn't be with Wood. And I don't believe Wood would be with her. Because at this point, Wood, you don't respect her. Like, let me tell y'all something. And see, a lot of people, like a lot of her followers feel like we just messing with Peach. And like we just bullying her and we just being mean to her. But no, let me explain something to y'all, okay? I went through the same shit that Peach is going through, okay? With my ex-husband. This man wouldn't buy me any kind of gift for any kind of holiday. I'm talking about no Mother's Day, no Christmas, no birthday, no anything. You know what I'm saying? He never celebrated me. And there came a point in my marriage where I began to question it. And also, I noticed that every single birthday for him, I would go all out. Every single Father's Day for him, I would go all out. You know what I'm saying? I remember one year I took him out of town for his birthday. I mean, I've done it other times as well. Taking him out of town or, got a nice room somewhere and hooked it up and just, taking him to nice restaurants on days to celebrate him. But then when it came down to me, there was no celebrating me. And so, like I said, 18 years, I went through this. I noticed it like around year 8. And I feel like Peach notices it now. She knows that, what he's doing, she don't like it. She notices it, but she stayed there for too long. She has too many children. She doesn't have a choice but to stay at this point in her life. You know what I'm saying? So she has to deal with it. But like I said, at a certain point, I realized that no. This is not what I want. I'm worth more than this. And so when I did get my divorce, that was one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons why I decided to step outside and just leave. And it had been so long, but I knew that I had the strength to go on. And so I did. And now that I am remarried, I've been remarried for 10 years now. And my husband now, he goes all out for me. Like when it's my birthday, he's going to come in the house with all kind of gifts. I remember when I first met him, he got me a birthday gift. And because we had just started talking, you know what I'm saying? And so it had been a few months and I was surprised because he brought me a gift. He brought me something that I had always spoke about, but I never really, told him that that's what I wanted. And so I knew that it came from his heart. And that just meant so much to me. I think I cried a little bit because he got me a gift, because he thought so much of me to get me something to celebrate me. So now it's like on Christmas, he's going to buy me something really nice. On my birthday, he's going to buy me something really nice. And then he does stuff just because. And those are the gifts that I love, those gifts too, because they literally come from his heart. So you can't tell me that Peach, her feeling unappreciated, that makes her feel good. No. Like she posted a video after all of that saying, I love my husband so much, I just want to eat, or whatever the hell the damn post said. I'm going to post it up here. But anyways, she posts all of that. No. You're trying to deflect on the fact that your man ain't buy you nothing. And you trying to act strong for the internet. But deep down inside, baby, you is wounded in there. Because ain't no way. And like I said, it's the thought that always counts. Me stuff that I've been talking about and ain't never really said, hey baby, can you get me this? No. Or he'll get me something that he knows that I need, especially when it comes down to like my business. He'll get me something that supports me. Like if I'm doing content creating, he'll buy me something for content creating. You know what I'm saying? Or if I have another type of job, he'll buy me something that goes with the job that I can use, that, to make my job easier or whatever. Like, I love him for that. And the fact that you're teaching your son, Gregory McKay, to be the same way that you are Wood, that's why I said you ain't shit. Because at the end of the day, you have 9 kids, but then again, I have to say, how was he raised? Because if he saw his father doing his mother like that, then maybe he just don't know. I don't know. But then again, as a wife, after with 9 kids, baby, you better get me something. Or I'm gonna be out the damn door. I shouldn't have to tell you shit. You ought to know. I pushed out these 9 motherfucking kids. Maybe you better get me something. You know what I'm saying? For at least Mother's Day. And here's my thing. You know that these kids can't go to the store by themselves. Okay, you got infants, you got whatever. They can't go to the store by themselves. The oldest one you have is Gregory McKay. And so he 17, sending him to the store with all 8 of them kids talking about, come on, let's go get mama something, a gift. No, that's not going to work. Daddy, you should have stepped up and went and took them children to the store so that they could get their mother something for Mother's Day to honor her. Or you could have stayed home and made something with arts and crafts. And that would have been the ultimate, because that could have been content. Since y'all like to record content, that could have been bonding time, since, that needs to be done as well. We need to bond with our children. And not to mention, it would have showed the thought that counted towards their mother. And the fact that you're not showing any type of appreciation, it speaks volumes on your personality, but it also speaks volumes on who raised you. Because at the end of the day, when I look back to me staying so long, 18 long years, my oldest son watched that. My oldest son sat there because we were together until my son was 12. And so my son watched that, and he developed that same thing to where he wouldn't get me stuff, And so I realized it, and I noticed it really, really fast, because like one birthday went by and all of that stuff. And I realized my son was just like, happy Mother's Day, happy birthday. And that was it. So I ended up taking my son to the store, giving him some money and saying, look, you need to celebrate those people that are in your life. I had to show him. But being that his dad never did it for me, it rubbed up. And so, my son never got to, see. Yes, he saw me doing for him, but he needed to see a man doing for his mother, showing that manly appreciation. Being that Wood has 8 boys to raise. 8 men to raise, 8 men that's going to be with somebody's daughter, 8 men that's going to be somebody's baby daddy. You raising them to not celebrate the woman that produces life for them, right? That's what you're doing. You're raising your children to do the same thing that you're doing to their mother, and it's 8 boys. The fact that it's so many boys is what bothers me. And the fact that, Peach, yeah, you put this out for the world to see. You did, right? And we could say that you're dragging your husband, okay? And you're throwing him and McKay up under the bus, because you're talking about McKay made $10,000. McKay couldn't even buy you nothing. McKay didn't even consider you. McKay could have just gave you some money. and called it a goddamn day if he didn't get to the damn store. But McKay can drive, so yes, he should have went and got you something. But he didn't know no better because the man who's raising him ain't raising him no better. But I still say McKay should have did better than that. But anyway, you are better than this. You know, you deserve better than this. You deserve to be appreciated. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be celebrated for each and every single day that you wake up and say good morning. You deserve to be loved the same way that you loving this other person. Because you can tell that she loves Wood a hell of a lot more than Wood loves her. And she respects Wood and she appreciates Wood a hell of a lot more than whatever he respects her. And the only thing that Wood did for her on Mother's Day is he slung that goddamn thing. That's what he did. He gave her some, that's what he did, okay? And that's not a gift. You know what I'm saying? You got my legs bent all the way back is not a gift. And she needs to stop accepting that as a gift. Because I put that on her as well. Stop accepting that shit as a goddamn gift. But anyways, I need to know y'all's opinion down below. Do y'all feel like her, bragging about the fact that she did not get anything for Mother's Day, do y'all feel like she meant it that way? Or do y'all feel like deep down inside she really was hurt? And what do y'all think about Wood not buying her something for Mother's Day? Do y'all feel like, oh, well, he watched the kids, he they daddy? Better yet, do y'all feel like Peach ain't Wood's mama? So what obligation does he have to buy her anything? Do y'all think like that? Let me know, and I'll holler at y'all later.